This week's episode is proudly sponsored by Texas Roadhouse, where there's legendary food with legendary service.
Talking about some stuff and things that happened in your neck of the woods.
Things and stuff.
This is What the Podcast. I'm Ryan,
I'm John.
and together we are,
Ryan and John.
on the couch as always, Cara Tafolla, and introducing this week, the lovely Annie the Skovmand.
Say something.
Why am I never
Hey.
introduced?
You lost your title.
You've
We need
always
a new
been
title.
Well, yeah, you
She
used to
was
be
producer
Cara Tafolla.
Yeah.
What do you want?
I don't know.
The incomparable. I don't want to just say
No,
like
let's
not
my
change
wife.
things. Let's
That
not
is
change things.
a thin line to incompetent.
Oh,
That's a
jeez. You think
quick
Ryan's
slip.
going to make that mistake?
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of incompetent,
Wait, the fact that you just, how quick you said yeah?
yeah.
Yeah?
Uh-huh. There on the table lies a box of unopened Mac Nuts that we brought
First
They're
of all,
opened.
from
open.
Hawaii
I just had some.
back to Annie. Oh, just now?
You're dead to me,
You want to
yeah.
throw me one?
I never even saw that box, believe it
Oh.
or not.
Annie cleaned up some cat hairballs when we were out of town, so
I
that
wish
was
they were
a
hairballs.
More, yeah.
Poopy.
Pretty rough. I heard it.
Oh,
one of
was
your
it a
cats is
poop?
dying.
It was diarrhea.
It was poop poop.
I heard one of your cats is really not doing well.
Ooh.
Dennis? Is it Dennis?
Oh.
One more?
You're gonna have to clean it up. It's right there.
You know, funny enough,
They make sure
it
we
You
get
know
that
what? Cardi
good-
will get it.
kind of looked
No.
like the poop.
It's under the bed. Under
It's
the
okay.
table.
We'll get
Just
it
put it
later.
on the
We'll get
table,
it
'cause I'll
later.
throw it away.
The cockroaches will
Yeah, I
get
was going to
it.
say, we
Clean
don't
it
want
off.
the
Blow it off.
I was fully
Blow
about to eat
off.
it.
we don't want the super cockroach to come back and eat that.
Really? You're gonna waste a Hawaiian host?
Oh,
Waste.
Here you go. No, Cara, do not eat that. Do
Why
not? Eat that. I
not?
have a
Cara,
fresh one for you.
because
I'll kill myself before I crunch a cockroach.
that's fine.
No, can you go back to the other one and be like hardcore?
Hardcore.
Okay, so what are we talking about this week?
There's a lot that
Yeah.
happened.
sad
Go-
day
Rip into it.
Should we just
sad
start
day.
right away?
in Margaritaville.
Rest in power, Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
You
How
guys,
do you
is
feel
it
about
is the sad loss of Jimmy Buffett lost on you?
Hmm.
Do you really get it?
I
Like,
didn't really listen to Jimmy Buffett at
I will
all,
say,
So.
obviously, I listened to some of his big hits,
uh-huh.
but I was sad. I was.
Yeah.
I felt like he was just such a legendary staple. Like you just
Yes.
knew the name, you know.
Absolutely.
And 76 feels young for him. I know it's not that young when you think about it, but I feel like these celebrities live for a long time. I mean, Bob Barker was 99.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing about Jimmy Buffett that's really sticking with me is you can live a life like curated to be arguably the best possible scenario, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Literally
can
the
hang
dream
out in
life.
Florida, sit on the beach, fly your plane, play music, be a billionaire.
Yeah.
That's right, billionaire. He's
Casual.
number 3, I think, richest musician in the entire world.
Well, not
And-
anymore. He's dead.
Well, he was, is what I'm saying.
Mm.
And
Hey,
you still,
can you just chill out?
well,
with
death
that
comes
a
for us
second?
all is the whole point I'm
Yeah.
making.
Yeah, but you just be like,
Um,
but he's not anymore. He's dead now.
Yeah,
I'm not
past
ready for
terms.
that.
Past tense, please.
Yeah, let's blast past that.
Take a breath.
I actually got to spend some time pretty close to Jimmy Buffett.
You posted about it last week.
Yes.
It was really sweet. I
And,
didn't know you. I knew that you went to that thing. Like I remember hearing about it before.
Let's
but I
just
didn't
say
realize how
a
personal
friend
you
of the
got.
show, a friend of our show, What the Podcast, has close personal ties to Jimmy Buffett's band.
Keep it there.
Very vague. We'll leave it there.
Why?
And so,
Why leave it vague?
well, you know, I'm not like trying to expose anyone.
Discretion.
Discretion.
Yeah. Anyways, so it was around my birthday that we got to go to this concert. It was in San Diego, and so I was newly 21, and I was like, I'm gonna go to Margaritaville. Here we go. Of
course.
So
Why
we
would-
go.
why
We
wouldn't
get
you?
to go backstage. Like, we get to go up onto the stage. I got to hold some of Jimmy Buffett's guitars.
Cool.
I got to like hang out. And then they used to do, I guess since COVID have stopped doing this little pre-show, but they do a backstage party for like the inner circle of Jimmy Buffett. He himself wasn't there. I didn't get to meet Jimmy Buffett, but they were serving margaritas. There was people hanging out, and it was very like, Hollywood party type beat. But just outside of the concert, in the parking lot, the fan base of Jimmy Buffett, the Parrot Heads. You know about the Parrot Heads?
Oh, yeah.
I've been hearing a lot
This
about
is
him.
the same crew that I'm sure goes out to the desert and rallies in there because I'm talking RVs. They are fully, what's the word I'm looking for? Tailgating the concert. So much so that people have built structures. There are tiki bars built in this parking lot. There's an entire
Awesome.
volcano off the top of this RV.
Oh, yeah?
And the parrot heads roll deep. They love Jimmy.
I mean,
I
what's
went
not to
to
love?
the day after Jimmy Buff died. I went to a 60th birthday party
Okay.
at a pool for a friend of mine, and it was a bunch of like their neighborhood friends, all this stuff. And let me tell you, the morning was palpable. Like people, everyone, the margaritas were flowing, and if you mentioned his name, people like very obviously got sad. And then it was a lot of, here's to Jimmy Buffett. Like, but there was like a dream. Like he made Margaritaville. Like it was this, idea of like this is gonna be our lives. We're gonna relax. I grew
Yes.
up with that song. It's a country song, and in the middle, it's like, what would Jimmy Buffett do? And then he has it like cameo, and he's like, well, I'll tell you, whoever. Pour me something done.
Yes, yes.
That is his vibe. And then the parrot heads, the like East
5 o'clock
County.
somewhere.
Yes. Oh, they love it.
Oh, they live.
And it's
for
not
Jimmy
because it's
Buffett.
not just about like a song Margaritaville. It's not
No,
just
it's
about
a
listening to the music. Jimmy
feeling.
Buffett was like a vibe curator.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah,
like,
you were saying he was a vibrator earlier.
Oh,
I didn't say that.
Oh.
did
Yeah,
I?
vibe curator.
Vibe cure. Okay.
jeez.
Thank you.
Jeez.
He made vibes happen. He said, "Hey, listen, life is not about, stressing. It's
Yeah.
about kicking back. It's about drinking, booze in the blender, right? Right? Stepping on a pop top,
And that's why he died on Labor Day
busting
weekend.
your flip flop." And he's got a
Ew.
song. He's got a song called "Come Monday," and it starts off with, "I'm going up to San Francisco for the Labor Day weekend show," and
Oh.
yeah, it's pretty fitting. He passed away on Labor Day weekend, so.
He's survived
An
by his
extra day to
wife
drink.
of 46 years and 3 children they had
Wow.
together.
Hard
What a good
to
guy.
be married for 46 years when you literally created Margaritaville. I'm sure there's drunken women everywhere around
Oh,
Margaritaville.
falling all over him.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
But they stayed true to each other for 46 years.
So
Well, as
sweet.
far as we know.
Okay.
Because the
I
thing
guess,
is, the media,
yeah.
The media does not.
I guess
tell the
anyone
truth.
could have a secret, cheating relationship.
Listen,
Sure.
No,
That is so
I'm just
brutal.
saying you could think two people are madly in love, and then it comes out that one of them isn't, and
Okay,
they
go
filed
ahead.
for divorce, like Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner.
Oh,
Okay.
I
I
didn't
was
want to
really
believe it.
concerned there. I'll be honest. I thought you're just slandering Jimmy Buffett right
No.
now. Or
No.
But it was a transition.
It was a good
so it's
transition.
cool.
Thank you.
Kara, walk us through this because it's kind of Taylor Swift adjacent,
It
right?
sucks.
Taylor Swift adjacent. I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because her and Joe Jonas dated, so
Yes.
everything is Taylor,
Taylor
Swift
Swift dated
adjacent.
everybody.
Yes, thank
so.
you.
Like 4 days
Jimmy
ago,
Buffett.
the rumor came out that he was filing for divorce, all this stuff. I didn't want to believe it because then the next night at his concert, he was still wearing his ring.
Ugh.
Like,
man.
which is like, no, they're not getting a divorce. Blah, blah, blah. And then today it
And he
came out that
filed.
he actually did file in Florida.
I saw something, and I knew,
TMZ
I
report.
knew it was too good to be true. It was like a TikTok of somebody was touring the Jonas mom and dad's house.
Yes, I
and
literally
she's
saw
like,
that clip.
she's like, at the top of the stairs, I have my 3 daughter-in-laws. There's a picture of all 3 wives.
Uh-huh.
She's like, I just love that photo of them 3. And I had an active thought in my head going,
One of those is going to be gone.
that's no, I didn't know about the Sophie thing. I was literally going like, that's crazy that none of them have gotten divorced because like celebrities, like it's kind of normal
Right.
to go through a couple
Yeah.
marriages, And then you come with
It
this
is,
news,
huh?
So.
Isn't it?
Well, dad's a pastor and, tried to keep the marriage.
Well, Joe and Sophie always felt like they were being held together by like the excitement of their lifestyle. Like I always felt like they were kind of living on the seat of. Of their
Sure.
parents a little bit. But
Celebrity.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I feel
Little
like
devil
out of
may
all
care type
3,
life.
I felt like Nick's kind of more serious. I was like, he probably takes that relationship like
I
really
feel like
serious.
Kevin and Danielle's almost fell apart with that reality
Really?
TV show.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
I mean, come on.
Wait, what
'Cause
was the
she-
drama there?
So Danielle is like a nobody. She is
They're like high
A
school
non-celebrity.
friends.
Oh, really?
Non-celebrity.
It was a
whatever.
big deal when they got together.
And they, since it was the first Jonas brother to
good
get
for her.
married and start having kids, they had a reality TV show.
Catching him with Jonas. From
And-
there. No, that'd be crazy. crazy.
I don't remember what it was called.
Keeping Up with the Jonases.
But in the TV show, it was
I really
literally
thought so
like
what it was.
she was having such a hard time with the cameras and like being in the spotlight.
Because she's a normie. Because
Yeah.
she's a non-celeb.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And they have 3 kids, I think.
Kevin has 3
Never
kids.
mind.
And Joe's got 3
Two.
kids.
Joe's
got 2 kids. And
Nick has 1.
wow.
Wow, I didn't even know they were multiplying so much. That's crazy. That's cool.
You're multiplying.
There's
You know,
quite a few Jonases in the Jonas
I just feel like
hierarchy.
I don't hear about like, oh, Nick Jonas had a baby. Like I just don't hear that. You know what I'm saying? But I know it happens, and it
Yeah.
probably does
Well,
make.
now-
How old are
news.
the kids these days? Like, how old
Kevin's
are Joe's
a little
kids?
bit. Oh,
Kevin's
Joe's
are like,
young.
I think Kevin's are like the oldest,
They're
maybe
the
like
oldest
12
ones.
now.
Yeah, 12 and 9 and 8 or something.
Because that was the big thing in the documentary where Kevin was like, I'm so glad we're getting back together because now my girls can see
Yeah.
like that I'm a rock star. Because like
Yeah.
I told them about how I used to like be on stage and they have never
They're like,
seen.
yeah,
me.
right, Dad.
But it was like a really sweet moment. He was emotional about it. I thought, oh, wow, that's kind of
So, anyways, at the concert, it was a big deal because now people are comparing like the other night how Joe Jonas sang a song, and then the other night he was super emotional singing another song, and one night he
Well,
was very
yeah.
drunk on stage. Like,
Yes.
Do we know
don't know.
like who pulled the
he
the
did. He
ripcord?
filed.
It was
He
him.
filed.
Oh, it was him. So, oh, that's
And there's
sad.
like a whole thing
Yeah.
about like custody, and he's been taking care of their kids, but she's filming, and I don't know. I think it's a lot of speculation and.
Sounds like
Sure.
if he's getting emotional though, he maybe is having a really hard time with it, which means they could
Yeah.
get back together. I don't know.
I would imagine it's
or it's
it
just
seems
they
like
still
one
love
of
each
those
other,
things.
but it's like it's just not.
There was a quote in the
Yeah.
TMZ report that was like, "Oh, somebody had said that which is kind of a weird thing to think, but like they live 2 different lifestyles. She likes to go out and party. He likes to come home after work and just like be home with the kids, and they just live these 2 different lifestyles, which is weird. Like he's literally touring with a band,
Yeah.
with like one of the biggest bands right now. So it's like, how is that not being out? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. So
Nick has one kid via surrogate back
Yep.
in January of 2022.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe Malti.
Malti?
My heart wants to say
I'm
Malti,
gonna say
but I don't
Malti.
know.
I don't know.
Malti.
It's,
Little
her name
Mal.
is Priyanka, so I'm guessing it's probably something to do with
Malti
Yeah,
Indian
it's probably,
culture.
It's
Yeah.
probably
Cute.
one of the
Malti.
Indian
Well, I'm
languages.
really sad to hear that. Joe Jonas. That sucks.
Sad.
Yeah,
But you
Wow.
know, it's really a sad week. What the
I
hell?
love.
I know.
Okay,
It's all going
who
down.
are you? Are you a Nick, Joe, or a Kevin?
Oh, good question.
Stan.
I'm a Frankie.
No.
Personally.
Yeah, Frankie.
You know Frankie's putting music out?
You know Frankie's probably a little punk.
Yeah,
Still.
totally.
Yeah,
He's
he
like,
grew up
he
rich.
was
I
he was
want
like
to be in the
blowing up on
band.
TikTok
They're not
for the
rich.
longest time.
why can't I
British
be
at
in the
all.
band, brothers? They're like, because you're British. He's like, I want to be in
Are
the
you
band.
asking who we are in the
No.
scope of those
Or
two
who-
brothers,
or who's our favorite?
Who's our
Who's your
favorite?
favorite?
Because
Okay.
I could tell you each one of us who we are.
Yeah, I could tell you too.
Go ahead.
No, okay, John, you go.
No, Annie, I want to hear what you say because you usually say the craziest shit. So go ahead.
That is true. Go ahead. Who are we in the Jonas Brothers?
I'll tell you who I like to think I am
Okay, yeah,
and
let's
who
hear
I
it, let's
realistically
hear it.
Yeah.
Hit it.
I like to think I'm a Joe Jonas, but I don't think that I am. I mean,
You're not.
I know that you're going to say I'm not, which is fine.
You're Kevin.
Yep, you're Kevin.
Screw you
Totally.
guys.
You're,
That's a-
you're Kevin.
I think you're definitely a Kevin Wing Joe.
Yeah, screw you guys.
I think Annie is a
Annie's a Kevin. Sorry, Annie.
No,
no.
I'm
I
Joe.
think you're a
You're-
Joe.
you're
You're a
Joe,
Joe
you're
Wing
out of your
Nick.
mind.
Nick.
You guys are
And
so
then-
off base.
Kara is a Nick Wing Kevin,
And you're Frankie.
and I'm Frankie.
Yeah.
No,
That's
you're.
it.
I would say you're the Joe.
I like to think I'm a Joe Wing Kevin.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
Okay,
Nick. Wing.
You're a
and
Nick.
that's insane.
And
Why?
Annie, you're a Frankie.
Why?
You're a Frankie. I'll
You're
tell
a
you right now.
Frankie
Okay,
Wing
I'm
okay,
Kevin.
here's-
you're
here's-
Joe. You're Nick, and you're Frankie, Annie. That's just the way it
Because
works.
here's the perceived personalities of them. Which,
I
by the
don't
way,
know
this
why you
is
guys are
hilarious
such
that we're
haters.
like we feel like we know these celebrities.
We grew up with them.
That's
so-
what I'm like.
oh, I know them.
Kevin is like the kind of gumpy, but these days he's more like the family-based Kevin.
Sure.
Right? The Jonas, if you will. Joe is like the wild and loud one.
That's you.
And then Nick is like the
The sweet,
moody,
quiet.
quiet one. Yes.
Yeah, that's
not
Kara.
moody.
And then
Totally
Frankie's
moody.
Like the one
He
we
writes
don't
all
know
the
about.
songs that are moody, and he's singing, "You're just jealous."
It's not moody.
I still get
Okay,
jealous.
the question is now: Are
Totally
we
moody.
Are we having to decide out of the 4 Jonas Brothers, like who is who, or can two of us be the same Jonas Brother?
I think it's like the Enneagram.
No, 2 of you can
It's
be
like
the same.
you can
Oh,
be
okay.
a Joe Wing Kevin. You can be a Nick
Okay.
Wing
I still
Joe.
think I still think Annie's a Frankie. Just
Okay, now who's your favorite?
My,
ooh, that's tough. I don't like Nick. I feel like Nick's a little like
Pretentious.
yes, pretentious. Kevin's a real. I like Kevin a lot.
He's
I
kind of a
kinda
peon,
like
though.
Joe's vibe. I just
It's
think
a little
Joe is
too
like,
easy to hate Kevin, you know? Like,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
but maybe that's just like there's always one in a three, right?
think-
He
I
actually
Joe.
sings in this next concert.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
good for
Joe
him.
because
'Cause of
Joe
Camp
has
Rock.
like a fun and also I'll say this: the early Joe,
He was
Camp-
always the funniest.
like
Talking
the
about Camp
moody
Rock.
hair,
Yes.
yeah, like that
Yes.
Joe,
The swoopy hair.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
totally cool.
Camp Rock.
I love those Jonas Brothers, man.
Camp Rock.
I'm a Joe gal.
We were bumping that new. Have you listened to the new album, John?
I don't think
So
I've heard it
good.
yet.
You need to.
So
we're gonna
good.
listen to it in the car,
in the post show.
in the post show.
oh.
In the post show, we'll
start
pop it
we'll
on.
start the post show.
I've been mainlining
I
that
love
new
that
album.
album.
It's
Oh, good.
fantastic. Yeah.
Well, I love all their music since they've come back. I mean, they've always had
Yeah.
huge hits.
It's a new
before
vibe.
They,
It's
before
a
they
new vibe.
split, but the new vibe has always been great.
Yes, and especially even like their first album they came out with, like when they got back together, was really good.
Yep.
I believe.
Happiness
I believe,
Begins,
I believe.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that documentary wrecked me, man. That was a good little doc.
I still haven't seen it.
What was kind of the thesis statement of it all?
It was
Like,
talking about it truly was like them coming back together, and then they like filmed their. I mean, again, they say it's their first time like hanging out and talking about rebuilding the band, but it was in front of a camera, so who
Sure,
knows?
of course.
And they had all these cards of like questions, like tough questions, and they all had to go through them. And so like one of them was, how did you feel about like Kevin read it, and he was like, how did you feel about Nick ending the band? And Kevin has this really like I felt like it was just so selfish, and they like had this really real, honest conversation. Well, again, it feels
they
real
probably
and
had time
honest.
to read the questions and think about a response.
But they also dive into they use these questions to kind of dive into like what they were talking about. So they talk about when like Nick was diagnosed with diabetes or found out he had diabetes, and how that kind of changed the scope for him because being on tour and like having to deal with all that was crazy. And then they talk about the breakup and how Nick basically was like, I want to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And I remember when Nick kind of like split off and did his own thing, and it was like a big deal. And we were like hearing Nick's Jealous and all those
Yep.
songs. that
Well,
he
Joe ended up
released.
splitting up and doing his own
And-
had his own band too.
Yeah, and so Joe talks about how he tried to have a solo career before DNCE, and that it didn't work. Like he
Yeah.
totally fell in, and he was like, he felt like his identity was the Jonas Brothers,
Yeah.
and then he couldn't break out of it. And I thought, whoa.
And Kevin was like, I'm gonna be a dad
Yeah.
full
Yep.
time.
Yeah.
You know what else was a big deal? When they'd air on Disney Channel, Nick Jonas being like, I have diabetes. Let me talk about my diabetes. It seemed at the time
Fake.
like he was going to die.
Yeah.
Like they had kind
Yeah,
of
he did
chalked it
now.
up to like, oh, I have this terminal disease, diabetes.
No way.
Do you remember they
I
used to
remember.
air like, it was like
Commercialized.
It was
commercial.
Like, it was like him in the back of the tour bus.
and
or
it was
something.
like, hey, like I just I'm dealing with my insulin right now. And
Yeah, and it would like show
it's just
him
a
like,
hard
It
thing.
would show him with his little like
Right?
monitor and stuff.
Which, like, I mean, maybe props to them for being like, yeah, it's he's just like every other kid. But
Yeah.
it
It's Disney. It's really
I
Disney
felt
thing,
like
we got to pivot. To
maybe they were kind of hinting at, yeah, he's gonna
See,
die.
when I was little, I was like,
Don't be
oh,
surprised.
When I was
oh,
12,
Nick Jonas has diabetes. Oh, my
11.
cousin has diabetes.
Yeah.
That was always like when that.
I do
commercial
think it
came
was
on.
kind of a cool little campaign because I'm sure there were kids out there that had diabetes that was like really identified with him.
Yeah,
in
but
that
then they
moment.
also did the campaigns of Bella Thorne having dyslexia, and that was all fake. She came out that they fully made her fake it.
isn't that
Really?
funny?
Yes.
He didn't have dyslexia.
Still doesn't.
No,
Wow. And he's
Is that
finding out for the
crazy?
first time.
and
I
And the
vividly
ones-
remember that.
there's another one
Yes.
of a girl being like, "Oh, I'm something of this in my family," and it's freaking Zendaya with a different name.
No, it was
like
Zendaya.
they hired an
like,
actress
"Hi,
before
I'm
Zendaya
Susie."
got like big. Yes, it's bad.
No way.
Did you know,
But
pull
she
that
ended
shit
up being on a Disney
Shake
Channel
It
show.
Up.
Shake It Up
with Bella Thorne.
with Bella Thorne.
Shake it up. It's a good,
Liars.
good show.
liars.
A bunch of liars.
Mm-hmm.
You
Man.
got
Damn.
Disney, you liars. Can't trust them.
Oh,
Can't
Disney.
freaking trust them. My gosh. Have you seen all that drama with the girl who's playing Snow White?
Go ahead.
Yes.
Did we already
Yes.
talk about that?
No, I don't think we did.
Rachel Zelger.
I don't
She's
know
like
anything
this
about it.
17-year-old. She was this nobody, 17 years old, sends in a self-tape for West Side Story.
Yes.
Gets casted as the lead.
Maria. She
and
plays
then
lead.
So now she got hired as Snow White in the live action.
Yes.
Well, she's also in Song of the something, the Hunger Games prequel.
Oh, she's in that new Hunger
She's in
Games.
that.
She's
So
getting
that's
work,
coming out.
basically.
Yeah.
John, here's the deal.
Yeah,
Is
tell
they're
me. Give me the
making
download.
a Snow White remake, a live action
Awesome.
remake.
Well,
and
awesome.
well,
This is the second one too. The first one was with
that was
Lily
Male-
Collins.
no, we're
Maleficent.
talking Disney
No,
proper.
Lily Collins. Snow
No,
White
no.
and the Huntsman.
No, that was
Or
not
was it
Disney.
Kristen Stewart?
That was Snow White and the Huntsman, and then they did like Mirror Mirror. There's been a bunch of Snow White remakes,
Yeah.
but this is the first Disney.
Boo.
And
Yeah.
and here's why boo is I'm gonna sound a little conservative here, but they're making it politically correct in that
Oh,
There's
that's
no
right.
dwarves.
all of the dwarves are now just guys.
They're just guys,
And
who
they're all
look
different races, and that it's very inclusive dwarves. And why this is getting so much flack is because the girl, remind me her name, Renee
Rachel.
Zellweger.
Rachel.
Thank you.
Renee.
We
Whatever
threw
her name
Renee
is.
Zellweger under the
Zellweger.
bus. We tracked
Rachel and the director were both on a red carpet, and she kind of does this unhinged interview, and she's like, it's not going to be the traditional Snow White. She's not going to get saved by a prince, okay? She's going to be fending for herself. She's going to be becoming the queen. It's not going to be like the
I think I
old
saw that.
piece of shit Snow White movie. It's going to be like gray
gonna be
and good for
cool.
women. And like, it's just like,
gonna be cool.
read the room.
And the biggest
Chill.
thing is after the interview, people then resurfaced all of her like old pictures of her being like, Snow White is my favorite princess. Her
Oh.
with the old Snow White, like fully like dressed as Halloween.
Buying
like,
the hype.
And
Her
then she
loving
also
Snow
said-
White.
She said something about like not like liking it or not liking
Yeah.
old Snow White.
Yes.
Not, she's like, I don't understand why, she's like, I never even really saw it and stuff like
But then
that.
there's pictures of her at Disneyland with like the wishing well and like her with Snow White.
She
and
just came off as so arrogant, and then
It's a
now
weird
her, like,
interview.
PR team is like trying to double time
Yeah.
it because obviously the movie's not out yet,
and they had to stop filming.
and it got destroyed.
Yeah.
from like people hate her after this interview.
Of course.
It's just I mean, she made a choice for sure, like a strong swing for the fences, but it just seems like now, yeah, you've kind of painted this negative picture of
She came out and
that.
was like, I wasn't trying to be ungrateful. I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And everyone's like, but that's exactly what you said.
I kind of feel like celebrities always. I mean, it's there's no good way. I mean, you're always going to talk yourself into the corner when you start taking a stand on something,
Yeah.
and that's why it's like I feel like if I was in the limelight like that, I would just avoid talking about somebody unless it was like a very clear like, yes, this is the side you want to be on. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the problem I think that we're facing. We feminists.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna say something, and then I'm gonna
Why
let
not
the
just
women
remake
talk.
it the way that the movie
No,
was?
yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
Is
Batch feminism.
I
And
feel
go.
like no. I feel like
She really set you
Damn
up
it.
for that.
there's this idea right now in pop culture that like feminist means being non-traditional. Like you, if you are a homemaker and if you are like doing traditional woman things as a woman, you're not like that's not feminist.
Well,
And
like
it's been-
Little
been
Women.
angling
Yeah,
at
Little
me.
Women. That's a great one. The remake that Greta.
Love
Gerwig-
that movie.
Such a good movie, and there's a whole like part of it where one of the sisters
Yes.
wants to be a mom and wants to get married.
Meg.
And yeah, Meg wants to get married, and Joe, who's like, I'm not getting married. I'm gonna go do amazing things. What like would be modern feminism, kind of pushes her down, and
yes.
she's like,
and Meg's like, yeah,
my
like
life
this
is
is what I want to do.
Just as fulfilling, like
Mhm.
this is what I want.
What a great! I mean, what a great story! Like, still so timeless too.
So
And it's
timeless.
Like,
freaking
and
based
relevant.
on, what's her face?
Louisa May
Mary-
Alcott.
Is it? Oh, I thought it was Mary Lou Alcott or something.
Louisa May
Louise May
Alcott.
Alcott. Something, I don't know. Something. It's based on literally her life.
She,
Her
because she is
story.
supposed to be Joe,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So amazing. Like, and that stuff like that is still relevant and timeless. And
Yeah.
yeah, but you know what I mean.
could get
So
that.
she's taking a big swing at like, well, no, like she's not gonna get saved by a prince because that is like a traditional like role.
But
is
also,
like,
that's what people want to see.
I mean,
Snow White.
but do we though? I mean, that's a whole other
Yes.
problem. Is like the Disney remake situation.
I think my issue is like, if Disney's like, you know what? Yeah, we can't redo like certain things because it's like impossible to make them politically correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Then just like don't don't
Then just
remake it.
make
Just
new
let
stuff.
Just let it be what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Think of something new.
Adapt more
Taylor
fairy
Swift-
tales.
Taylor Swift's already doing the remake of her old stuff. She already has that in the bag. Disney, be original.
Awesome.
She's already remaking her new stuff.
so good.
Yeah, she's already you know what I'm
Thank
going to
you.
do?
Yeah.
I'm going to re-release what I already released. But I'm going to do it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? And
Nobody
I
wants
love
to
her
talk
for
about
that.
it.
But
Nobody wants to
Disney,
talk about it.
She
Nobody
did
wants to
change
talk
her
about it.
politically correct.
and she made hers politically correct.
Did
but
she?
It was easier.
Well,
Yeah,
not
there's
really,
one line- there was
not really
one line.
politically correct. More
There's like
like
2 or 3 lines in
fem-
all of
more
her.
Tell it. Let's hear about
female
it.
friendly.
What are you
Yeah.
talking
Go ahead.
about?
The
What
one
did she
that-
say?
The
She's more known for doing for what she does on the mattress. She changed.
and better
Oh,
than
Well,
yeah.
that thing, there was one
That's
about
right.
being gay, and she's like, just tell me
Oh,
you're
that one
gay.
too. In Picture to Burn.
She changed that
Yeah,
a long
'cause
time
that
ago.
was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, remember,
She
she
was like-
started as a country artist, so I mean,
And
that,
she was like Christian.
She
and-
was like 15.
yeah. So, but you know.
don't worry, she's come back. She'll
And
be
then
fine.
she
but
made her
so,
whole "I'm an
feminism
ally"
bad.
album.
Got it.
Yeah,
I think
I still have
there's-
access to grind with her. She's a girl boss, but she's got skeletons. Okay.
She,
She
certainly
does.
does.
And she does. My thing about feminism
Okay.
Yeah, let it
is
rip.
Love
I
it.
think it's like anything. I think you can look at it in any political movement. There's the movement itself, and then there's a radicalization of it. You could look
Sure.
at that on political parties. You could look at that in any way.
Sure.
Even like the fight for like women's rights to abortion or like pro-life. I think there are people who have true arguments and are fighting for what they truly believe in, and then there's people who take those arguments and radicalize them to the 10th degree to make it all seem stupid. And I think on every side they do that.
Yeah.
How do you figure that with like in regards to abortion? Like who is radicalizing?
I think both sides are doing it. I think there are people who have actual concerns for the healthcare and medical system on each side and are trying to come to like a middle ground about it. And then I think there are people who are standing at Planned Parenthoods screaming at women. And then I think on the other side there are people who are like, I'm just gonna go buy Plan B for everyone. And I'm like, okay, well that's not the right answer either. Everyone chill out.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before in the
Uh-oh.
sense that abortion doesn't really affect
I'm
us.
sensing disagreement on this side of the room.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
But I think it's the same way.
Come on. Just tell us your take.
No,
He
we've
doesn't
done
think
this
there's a
episode before.
radicalized
I
pro-abortion.
yeah. No,
side.
I
Do
think
you not think there's like a justifiable radicalized
I think-
side of
I think it's
pro-abortion?
hard to. I think if we're staying on the thread of feminism, I think it's hard to, like, I don't know. I feel like it's similar to the gay rights thing. Like, just because there are people that are far in one direction. Like, I think the fight towards feminism is more important than like picking and choosing like what feminism like which ones are good and which ones are like too radical. I think if the choice is like work towards feminism or not, I think it's work towards feminism. I think the same about abortion. I think
Yeah.
if it's like women being able to choose what to do with their bodies or not, I think it's women being able to choose what they do with their bodies. You know what I mean? I know that there's nuance, but
Yeah.
I think in a political setting, we don't get to do the nuance. You know, like it's
But
either
that's the
it's-
problem about politics. It is nuance.
exactly
That's the whole game.
100%. And so when we're voting yes or no on certain things, it's like you have to vote yes because, or I should say, I have to vote yes because I believe in like that the good will shake out. You know what I mean?
Oh.
I don't know. That's
Interesting.
kind of dramatic,
I-
but
No, I see what you're saying.
I did a whole, I did a couple classes in college about women in government and like women in history. And I remember watching this one documentary about this woman who was like one of the like forefront of the feminist movement and everything in the 70s and all that. And there was like the two, and you can watch, there's like a series on it.
yeah.
And it's about like the two sides of like these women who are like actively campaigning against the women's right to vote and women's
Yes.
like basically women's rights period. And then there are people who wanted the Equal Rights Amendment for women to be included in that and like equal pay and all this stuff. And there was a woman who was like actually within those offices, and she was like, I remember it got to the point where we had surpassed our actual like reason, and now it became like a We Hate Men club. To the
Yes.
point where they told me not to bring my son into the office. like that his male energy was affecting everyone's,
Totally.
And she was like,
Sure.
she was like 3. Like she was all sudden like it surpassed all logic.
Yes.
And so I think when it comes to like feminism and that, like Cara said, like there's women who want to be moms. There's women who want to be stay-at-home moms. There's women who like just want to be wives. Maybe not even mothers. They just want to be wives. And like, and some women want to see them saved by a prince still.
Yeah.
Like, and that's
Yeah,
okay.
take care of me. That's what I want.
You did get saved by a prince, Cara.
Oh,
what I wanna
yeah.
do.
When was
Kind of
that?
more like in the Shrek vibes.
Okay. Go
When
ahead.
was that?
More like Shrek, less like Prince Charming.
I don't get it. What
I'm
do you
saying
mean?
you're like an ogre.
Because I'm awesome?
So like,
I'm the
do
number
we
one
think
grossing
ratings-
cartoon of all time.
Moving along.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jeez, what a
Do we
spin.
think views of Shrek are gonna go up this week?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm
Go
watching
ahead.
it in solidarity.
Smash Mouth.
Oh.
Hey, man.
This is a week. This is a weekend of tragedy.
It's a week of
Cara.
loss.
Yeah.
Now that's a fellow that never recovered from blowing up in stardom. Right there.
No.
What? Help me out with his name.
Smash Mouth
Guy from Smash Mouth.
Guy, first lead singer of Smash Mouth.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, they got a second lead singer?
Steve,
I guess there were 2.
Steve Harwell.
Steve Harwell was his
R.I.P.
name.
Dead at 56.
Singer of
Ooh.
Liver
Liver
failure. He was a big
Ooh.
alcoholic major, and like so they were big in the in the 90s, early 2000s, right? They had songs like they did a cover of All Star. They say you might as well be walking on the sun.
Yep.
Right? They do sorry. All Star is their song.
Yes.
They did a cover of I'm a Believer.
Yes.
Also in Shrek.
Shrek.
Then I saw her face.
I just started singing
I'm a
that because I
believer.
was like, oh, this person died. And my mom was like, that's the Monkees.
Well,
I was like,
yes.
yeah, but this person made the song famous
Talk about
for
a remake.
our generation.
There's lots of songs like that where you grow up on and you're like, oh, wait, this is just a cover.
Just a cover,
actually.
yeah.
What
Talking
was it?
about-
Year 3000.
Year 3,
Yeah.
Jonas
It's a
Brothers.
cover. And I
Yep.
was like, really?
Yeah.
Never heard the original.
No, I still
I
haven't.
won't.
I
and
have.
I won't.
And I won't do it.
Nope.
Big burst of fame, right? You've got everything you ever wanted, and then you try to keep riding that high. You have your moment, the moment you're a flash in the pan, and then you use all that money to drink and
Yeah.
be an alcoholic. And
We talk
Sad.
about
Sad.
it quite a bit on this show, just about the idea of fame and money, and you kind of get to this level where like no one can tell you what to do and not do, but you're clearly struggling with some sort of substance, whether it be drugs or alcohol. And it's
Yep.
like it's just kind of stuck in this stop loop, like normal people that don't have tons of money kind of they crash, right? And you hit rock bottom and you kind of rebuild, right? Well, these rich people, they just have endless amounts of money.
They'll never hit rock bottom.
And no one will tell them no, because then it just results in them being like, you're fired or get the hell away from me,
Get the
But
hell away from me.
right.
yeah, it sucks. It's a really sad spiral. And some people turn it around before it's too late. Obviously, Mr. Harmon didn't.
Harwell.
Mr. Harwell didn't, unfortunately.
Such a bummer.
Yeah, so that was death number 3. But there was death number 4.
What's
Which
that?
was what?
Wait, hold on. Well, give me the first 2.
Bob Barker.
Well, Bob Barker was
Bob
last,
Barker.
but I guess it's within the week. So
I guess you're right.
So Bob Barker,
We'll take it. 99.
99.
Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett,
and
Oh,
Steve
rip.
Harwell.
76.
What was the
who's
fourth?
The pilot.
Oh my gosh, this video! You guys saw the gender reveal
Oh,
plane?
yeah.
go
We were
down?
talking about that.
The plane
know.
that literally
It's
looked
not
like
funny,
it was
but it's
paper.
like-
Not a celebrity, but
It's not funny, but these gender reveals are getting like so out of hand, and that's the funny
Agreed.
part. Is
Agreed.
like, why are we doing this? Like
Yeah.
why? First
Okay.
of all, crazy. What's
okay.
up?
You really, if you had the resources, John,
Have
you
a plane
throw
go
a
over.
lip sync battle for
No,
your birthday every year.
I wouldn't.
If
I wouldn't.
you're-
I'm
if
telling you, I
you're s-
wouldn't.
If your sibling,
Nope.
if Dave with his next
Meow.
kid said, "Hey, here's the envelope,
Eh.
throw me a gender reveal," you wouldn't go effing big on that
No,
thing?
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
Oh, hell yeah, you would.
No, I wouldn't.
Hell yeah,
I'm
you
t-
would.
For those- okay.
By the way, Annie, you just asked me, and
briefly,
I'm telling you, I would.
for those of you that don't know, haven't seen this video, this is a. Where was this video taken? Do we know?
I have no idea.
It's a
Kansas.
TikTok. Okay. No.
There were palm trees, so
It's a TikTok
Florida.
of a airplane flying over a gender reveal, and it says "baby" or something,
dropping
big
the
letters,
color.
Baby.
and it drops pink powder dust
Glitter.
or something. It's like paint dust, and it's like, oh, it's a girl, And then as the video is ending, the plane's wing, one of the wings breaks
Oh,
off.
they
and
both
it spins
do.
out of control.
both.
And then we never see where it goes because the cameraman goes back to the
So-
couple that are celebrating.
So
Like
you
nobody saw
literally-
it.
I've been watching this video.
It's
on a loop,
fantastic.
being like, what happened wrong? If you keep watching it, you realize where they set up this gender reveal was literally like, here's the family, whatever. Here comes the plane. Here's a ton of tall palm trees.
Yeah.
So that pilot
So you had to
dropped it late
And then had to pull
immediately
way
was like,
up.
uh-oh, I'm going to hit palm trees. And it just went up so fast, and the wings,
the thing
both wings.
cracks in half like it's made out of
Paper.
toothpicks and paper.
Well, planes are made out of pretty.
Go ahead.
But literally,
It has
this
to be light.
specific
Hold on.
plane,
This is John
the
on
wings-
what planes are made out of.
I don't
Go
know.
ahead.
the wings of this one were literally rectangle.
Okay, and here's what
Yeah,
I'll
but
say.
it's a-
Plane
it's a
have you
little
seen that's
plane.
Can I tell you?
rectangle?
When I first watched the video, I thought he fully thread the needle, like because he like goes like this. I didn't even see the wing break, but I see him like go in between the trees, and I was like, oh dang, like he really threaded that thing. And then I watched it again. I was like, oh no, there goes the wing.
Oh no,
So-
he threaded it
There
by
goes the
dying.
pilot.
And unfortunately, the pilot did pass away.
Yeah.
They pulled him out of the wreck, and he died in the hospital.
Yeah. So gender reveals.
Was it worth it to reveal that gender of that baby?
No,
I don't
I was
think
just
so.
telling you, and this is controversial. Well, not controversial. This is it's definitely a question nowadays. Is I would love when I have kids to not find out. I think it's so cool to not know, and like when the baby's born, be like, oh, it's a boy, it's a girl, whatever. And nobody does that nowadays.
Yeah,
My parents did that with all four, and I'll tell a story in the post show about. Like a funny little happenstance that happened
Okay.
with one of my brothers and sisters being born about that
Nice.
gender thing. But my parents didn't find out for all four, and I think that is so cool. I mean, nobody wants to do that nowadays.
I think I would like to know, but I don't need to have a big gender reveal.
I think it depends on the people having the baby, because there's some people are
Sure.
such planners.
Would you do it? You want to know the baby gender or no?
I don't really know yet. Haven't
Do you-
decided.
Okay, on the
Do you
fence.
want a gender reveal?
So I saw a really cool one on TikTok where it was like these people just go out to dinner, and the bartender brings like a martini. That's like
that's kind
a
of funny.
color.
I don't need to do it with everybody else
No.
there. I don't need to have a big party.
Have you seen nowadays people are getting cakes made and then they're going and having picnics and
Yeah.
taking like wine
And they'll
glasses
do the wine
and they,
smash
they
one.
like cut it in with the wine glass and
Sure.
then they pull up the glass
The
and it has
best
the
one.
color.
The best one I saw was this girl. She made the cake herself, so she obviously knew.
Right.
But it was a surprise for husband, and she goes and she didn't use enough blue dye,
Oh, I
so it was
saw this
kind of
one.
like greenish. And they
we're
go
having
and
Shrek.
they do the cup thing, and they open, and he's like,
so funny.
I
Don't know.
Like, what is it? What is it? And she's like, she starts crying because
Yep,
she's like,
she
obviously
ruined
her
it.
She messed
hormones
it
are
up.
like, and she's like pregnant, so she's like going through it, and she's like, I'm so sorry, blah blah blah. And then
Did they redo it?
no, she apparently he like. He had like they were both wearing. She had some like blue and pink thing, and she's like, okay, close your eyes. And he fixed it. He's like, okay, I'm gonna close my eyes and put one of these in my hand, and then I'll open my eyes again, and to kind of like help fix it.
Right.
And she writes, she's like, my husband's the best. Like I had the worst day, and I messed this cake up, and then he comes along and like totally fixed it, and it was super sweet.
Yeah.
But it was just like, oh man, that is so sad. She like worked so hard on this cake, and it turns green.
I
He's
saw
like,
one
"What?"
recently where the bakery forgot to put any color.
Oh, and they're like,
And
it's
it was
a
just a
cake.
vanilla cake, and it was supposed to be like the mother-in-law and the mom to do it,
Yeah.
and they go and they're like,
I'll
"It's
tell you-
white."
I'll tell you, there was one person.
Our baby's gonna be white.
Only one person that I've ever known that I worked with her, and at work we were like, oh, we want to throw like a gender reveal for just our work. Like she could tell somebody at work, and they'll prepare it, and then our whole work gets to find out, like kind of a fun reaction thing. And the woman who's having the baby, she's like, I don't want one. And we're like, what?
Got her.
You're like, why? And she's like, because I don't care what gender it is. And we were like,
That's kind of how I feel.
Whoa.
Like
Yeah.
it
because
made you think though, because you just think like the ceremony, right? You're like,
Right.
oh, I want like it's fun. It's like a reason to have a party and
Yeah.
celebrate. But then you start to think, you're like, oh yeah, I guess that's true. Like who cares, right?
because
But-
you've seen the ones where because they're all on Facebook and TikTok and whatever. You've seen the ones that people are disappointed
Yes.
Yeah.
because it
Oh my
it
gosh.
kind of like builds in the fact that like you're anticipating what you think it's going to be, and then in a dramatic way you find out it is or it isn't. And I've even seen one where the guy like freaks out and is like celebrating because it's a boy, and the wife is kind of just like, huh.
Yep.
And
Or
like
the opposite.
that's a sad moment,
Yeah.
like that you need to process maybe together as a couple, like not in front of everybody you know.
Yeah.
It's not like a wedding where it's like, oh, we're celebrating. It's like, you know, expectations being met or not met.
I
you
like
know?
the idea that the couple knows and they're like announcing it to everyone else.
Oh, that's kind of
Right,
Like
that's
it's
always
like
kind
the
of the
gender
first
reveal
one.
for everyone else
Right.
and not them.
Yeah, my brother just
You do like a fantasy football type thing.
First time they found
money
out,
in.
and then they got donuts with the coloring filling, and we all like all bit into the donut at the same time. It was a fun little thing. And
I
then
like
the next one was-
the cupcake one,
What's
where
that?
like everyone chooses a cupcake and only one of them has the color,
Oh,
and everyone takes a bite, and like
that's cool.
everyone's like, oh, I got white filling. Oh, I got white filling. Oh, I got the pig.
Wasn't there another gender reveal
kind of
that
nice.
ended in like a giant fire because they didn't
It
explosion?
was fireworks, wasn't
Oh
it?
yeah, that's badass.
Oh my
In
God.
a
I'm sorry.
forest. In a forest.
In a forest. Listen, guys.
You want
I
one.
know.
Or maybe
we
it was a
shouldn't
smoke
do
bomb.
'em.
I don't know, but it was something like that.
I want
Annie,
it.
we
big.
can set
What
off
a psycho.
fireworks at any
Fireworks.
point.
What a
I want.
psycho.
I want someone to hire 2 wrestlers, one in pink,
Oh,
one in
I've
blue,
seen
and
those.
have them
Oh,
just like
they're stupid.
wrestle until the end. Oh, stupid! I want you two to be the wrestlers.
Okay.
In diapers, different colored diapers,
Deal.
and literally to the
We'll do
death.
it.
One of you dies, and the
Will
winner
we,
is.
We'll do
will
it.
we be able, will we
gender.
be able to do that in 15 years?
Can we do like red and
15
Holy
purple?
hell.
15.
That was crazy.
One.
Like
Good for you. That's
instead
a
of
reasonable
instead
timeline.
of pink and blue, like throw everyone off and do like green and purple.
Oh, I don't know.
like
I
it.
just
We're having a Hulk baby.
We're having a swamp, baby. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Shrek baby.
God.
Ladies and germs, thank you so much for listening to our
What'd you
episode
say,
this week.
germs?
Yeah, ladies and
Yeah,
germs. You never heard
germs.
that?
kind of cool.
I can't explain every word to you, man. I say a lot of weird stuff, and you got to
I can't
just go with
explain every
it.
word to you.
Thank you to our Patreon supporters. Thank you to Texas Roadhouse. Join us in the post show to hear a quirky story that John's going to tell about gender.
Quirky.
And hey, who knows? Maybe we'll say some crazy bad words or something. I don't know. The post show is unfiltered, untamed, and uncut. Wow. So for just $4 a month, you can watch that. Any other thoughts?
I got nothing.
I want to go
Let's
have
go.
a bloomin' onion over at the,
Oh God.
I mean, a cactus blossom.
Dead test. End it now. End it
There
now.
goes our
Thanks, what?
sponsorship. On the couch as always, Cara Tafolla, Annie the Skovmand. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
We'll see you next week on What the Podcast. You guys don't say it at all anymore.